Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Open 2020 Summer. And of course, now the matchup that a lot of people have been waiting for. We have Spirit, probably right now, alongside Navi, the best in the CIS, facing up against OG, who are going to be jumping into the action. Of course, we have here Potter and myself. I'm going to be replacing Stunner for at least a few minutes here, and that's some pretty big shoes to fill, Potter.
I like you better anyway, Blair. I like you better. You've been doing a fantastic job at that host duties, and you're right. I have been looking forward to this match. I want to see Spirit coming out in full force. At Masters just a couple months ago, they just had the most unluckiness that a team can get. MIR lagged out. They were beating FaZe in a series on the third map, and then he lags out and they lose out. So certainly, I think Spirit, they're going to be hungry coming into this series, and I'm ready to see them in that server.
Yeah, and of course, we do have a look at our brackets over here. Force losing out earlier to Complexity. A pretty hard-fought series, and of course, the winner of this matchup is going to be facing off against Complexity later on in the winner's match. And for Spirit, their team have looked very surprisingly good. Like, you look at the CIS region and you see so many teams, like, for example, Forza, for example, Navi, even if you go back to the ESL Road to Rio, where some of the top teams in the region have been struggling when it comes to consistency. But you look at Spirit and just sheer a good, solid Counter-Strike being played. But we can talk a little bit more about that, about Spirit later on. We can maybe touch upon OG. What are your thoughts on this team now heading into this event, especially after the break and Mantu coming back off that a little bit of an injury he had earlier?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen much of OG. And a little bit of that is OG not qualifying for some tournaments. A little bit of that is me not casting the matches that they play. But I have been filled with a lot of excitement for OG to kind of show up and show us what they're made of. And I got to be honest, they haven't done that quite yet. When I look at the players on this list on OG, I'm looking straight at Issa. I just remember this, man, that duo between Issa and Woxic way back in the Hellraisers days. There was so much excitement with those two riflers. There's someone at the door.
Oh, I wonder who that is.
I wasn't expecting anyone.
Oh, he's taking over. All right, I'm done with my job. Oh, I think you muted Trace.
Oh, Trace.
God damn it, Trace. He's a mess, isn't he?
There we go. Okay.
Oh, he's back.
Does that work? My God, as if everything couldn't just go wrong at one time. It does. Okay. So I think you guys were onto something there about you know, the injury sustained, but obviously you have to continue to drive past that, right? So now where do we find ourselves to the real situation?
Potter?
Sudan, take it away. Take it away.
Oh, you guys just tried to pass it off on each other at the same time.
Distracted with Christine's dog in the background. He is very feisty. Look at him. Look at that magnificent thing.
He's shaking his booty for you, Sudan. Did you just see that?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Maybe for Trace.
Well,
I don't know.
Listen, Jesus Christ. How about this? Let's talk a little bit about Team 1 here. And by Team 1, I'm not talking about over on the NA side of things. I'm talking about OG. I think that's going to be a good starting point for us to begin to talk about this team overall, is what to expect and how far they've come now that we've seen a year or two of growth here between the players in this lineup and then ultimately what brought them together, the OG project. What do we know about OG and where they're headed?
Well, I do hope Valde and Alexiv do show up in the server that they're missing right now. This is a team who came together and everyone's like, all right, this is kind of like a motley crew of players. You have Issa, you have Alexiv, Valde, NBK. These are known players, obviously Mantu being the one standout name when it comes to being comparatively a little unknown. But he is, of course, the highest rated player as well off late. Him coming in should be interesting. I still feel like, personally, watching OG the past few months, I still feel like they need to kind of find their groove. I don't think they've really hit any peak yet. So I'm hoping to see that coming into play here, at least in this particular event.
Interesting. And I think you could be onto that there, Christine. Is there anything that we can add to the OG totem pole over there and add to it, build it up into this magnificent storyline of OG being just absolute ballers, or is that pretty much as far as it goes?
You know, I think you might be onto something. I'm going to take it from an angle where there's just a lot more room for us to see what this OG can actually have. I hate the word potential, but it's absolutely there. Bled just mentioned that Mantu has been the highest rated player. We got to remember, Mantu wasn't even OG's first choice. I don't even know if Mantu was their second choice. So having that player be the highest rated performer, MBK, Valde, Alexi B, Issa, these players have a lot of room to kind of catch up and show us what they're made of.
Well, which is exactly what you would like to see, right? Is these players doing what their names have been held to do or been kind of shown to do over the years. You would like to see them be the ones stepping it up regardless. I think we're going to have that opportunity to hear from OG jumping into today's matchup.
I don't know if you have expectations. Of course, placing high, maybe winning the tournament, but yeah, just doing well, warming up at the start of the season. We'll see how it goes. We're taking things a little bit slow, so yeah, we'll just see what happens on the server, I guess. Yeah. Mostly, I think we'll be focusing on ourselves and our own game plan. Of course, our coach and Alexi will be looking at the other teams as well. Maybe not as much. But yeah, after the player break, I think a lot of teams will focus on themselves and just try to perform the best as a team. And yeah, whoever's got the best comeback from the player break is probably going to do the best. So yeah, we just focus on ourselves, I would say. We'll be ready against any team. It doesn't matter what the team is, I guess, except the Russian playstyle. You have to be ready for that. But other than that, yeah, we just focus on ourselves and see how we go.
Being ready for the Russian players. Interesting words there. Interesting way to target going forward. But obviously for these guys, there's going to be a little bit of a starting stopping point. When we look at the OG lineup, we look at the project itself, do we feel like it's been successful up to this point?
More or less, but I don't think this lineup was kind of formed to be kind of like a middle of the pack sort of team, right? This is a team trying to be a championship team. These are players who had some interesting times in their previous lineups. You know, certain names come to mind. Obviously, they're looking to prove a point that they could be not just a top 10 team, but maybe even a top 5 team. And if that is a skill we're going to be going with, no, not yet. I don't think they've reached the level they're looking to attain quite yet.
And well, what that would leave us to do is to talk about the next team on the agenda, unless, of course, Christine has something she would like to close out with in the OG camp. Christine?
No, I think you guys wrapped it up pretty good for me.
Muted. She's muted us.
No, well, she's muted us.
Thank you. I've taken a page out of your book this morning here, Trace.
It's been one of those mornings.
Myself, yeah.
Jesus almighty, yes, it has been. Please take it.
Let's move on to Spirit. The one
let's
thing
do that.
Yeah. Let's move on to Spirit.
Let's just move on to Spirit then. Let's talk about Spirit and how some do die young, but not in this case. Mir Chopper, I Just Balance, and Magic. Not Magix, not to be confused with Magisk, not to be confused with a Danish player. Team Spirit have come out here in the past year and they've made a statement saying, hey, you know what, Navi, you're not the only team that can rise up to the ashes and really fight through the flames over here in the CIS region.
Yeah, they've done exactly that. And I'm glad that the first player you named was Magix because, man, this is a 17-year-old superstar in the making. At DreamHack Masters, when I was watching his movements, his decision-making, I was thoroughly impressed. And he's not alone. We got I Just Balance, an incredibly skilled opper who actually just seems to be able to make a round that he's supposed to lose and be able to turn that around. So having a weapon like that on the squad is absolutely essential. And we can't forget MIR. I think MIR is absolutely kind of the solidified superstar on this team. He seems to be the guy who always performs, is generally on the top of the leaderboard. So I think MIR has a lot on his shoulders coming into this first debut opening after this player break.
MIR, not to be confused with Mir, which is pretty much where you spend most of your time, Sudin, out in the space station.
I don't know if it's still around. Is it still around? I don't know. But so. Yeah, I don't think so, right? Yeah, but Mir has been definitely a player to watch, our highest rated player. This is a team who won the ESL 1 Road to Rio. They came second, losing to Navi in the finals with a second RMR. They were looking fantastic in the Pro League qualifiers. They did qualify for Pro League, mind you, for Season 12. And also, like Potter mentioned, they've been very unlucky in a previous event for DreamHack, which is DreamHack Masters, where they had players disconnecting and internet issues. So hopefully that's been sorted out. Hopefully they have some backup internet lines traced. I personally feel like heading into this matchup, you look at OG, you look at his names, you're like, they seem like the better team. But honestly, I feel like Spirit are going to be a very, very powerful force to be reckoned with here.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there too, because you look at these two lineups and yeah, you're looking at OG and you're seeing, oh, here's your MBKs, your Valde, surely they've got it in the bag. But I don't think it's clear cut and paste like that, Christine.
No, I don't think so either. And I find it interesting that Mantu in his interview right off the bat said that maybe the Russian teams will be the teams that will sneak away with the win. They have not as much information on them versus the EU teams. And lo and behold, their first initial opening matchup is versus a Russian team. So this is definitely, I guess, challenge accepted, hopefully, for OG.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And hello to Timo there in the background as he joins us a little bit delayed. Don't worry, Timo, I was a little bit late myself. So let's go ahead and hear what Team Spirit has to say.
Hi, my name is Amdayon. I'm playing from Ukraine, Kyiv for Team Spirit. We feel pretty good as team. Actually, we were a bit surprised because we played really well on Prax and everything just going well for now. We already trained close to 2 weeks, so I think we are pretty prepared for the matches. We need to make it to playoffs. That's our goal, but of course we want to win the tournament. So I think our chances is pretty high to win the tournament. All the teams are pretty on the same level, maybe except of Bigs. They beat above everyone. So our first game gonna be versus OG. I think it's gonna be interesting one. I don't remember we played versus them on official, but we did it on Prax, and it was very intense. So I hope viewers gonna like it.
All right, well, it's almost time to get into the server, and I do believe that it's almost time for us to open the floodgates here to the Twitch world, to the Twitch community, who loves to spam and just really tempt fate when it comes down to those mods. I know those mods can be a little bit strict, so now would be the time to get your votes in there. And obviously, OG has come out on top inside of the poll. I feel like this is a little lopsided. I feel like this is not necessarily reality. So let's try to bring it back down to earth right here. Let's try to bring some gravitas back into this situation. That is not just a namesake that you're voting for, but, you know, in all reality, the better players are the better team. So with that said, let's start with our predictions. Christine, who do you have winning this game?
You know, I have Spirit winning this one out. I think this map veto is going to be really, really telling on who bites and who's going to be vetoing out that Vertigo first. We just heard Sum Da Young say he's planned something a little special, so maybe that's what it is. But I'm going with Spirit here.
I'm gonna have to start with Potter here. Something that rarely happens, but Spirit should be winning this out. They just seem like the better team. They seem like they have the better map pool as well. And like I said, they just seem to be overall, they seem to be hitting a peak. It's just an unfortunate, we just see them playing most of the CIS events and facing off some of the top EU teams. I feel like they have a point to prove. So I'm gonna be siding with our Russian bros. And
you know, I love those Russian bros. I really do. But I gotta side with OG because I'm not like you. I have to be like the Twitch chat. That's just the way it goes. Let's go ahead and continue down the road of understanding this game and understanding where it is that we're gonna be playing on. I'm talking about map vetoes, getting those all out here in the open, in which case, then I can laugh at your predictions and say, haha, I told you should have picked OG. So here they are. Here's our maps. Dust 2, Mirage, and then we're all gonna be concluding this on Nuke. So what do you think?
I like OG not banning out Vertigo. That's them showing the bigger cojones, saying like, we're not going to ban it. You're going to ban it because, you know, we can probably just kind of float it around, which is cool. So they forced Sum Da Young to kind of ban out Vertigo for his team. Overpass the ban coming out, which isn't too surprising. It's a map that Spirit are pretty comfortable on. I don't know about you, Christine. I felt like Nuke could have been maybe picked by Spirit early on, but it's a decider. And I feel it's very 50-50 if you look at this map pool.
I have to agree, but I do kind of like this Dust 2. We have to remember, this was the third map in that phase series that I was talking about where MIR absolutely destroyed. So hopefully he's able to kind of continue that sort of success.
Well, so hopefully we're going to see what he's got. We're going to see what this whole thing's got when we come back from a break. And we're going to jump into this best of 3. And boy, it's going to be one you don't want to miss. Team Spirit taking an OG right here. The DreamHack Open Summer 2020, y'all.
Welcome back to DreamHack Open Summer. My name is Dinko. Here we're joined by Hawker, and we're getting into the second game of the day. We've already had an incredible matchup going 3 maps, but now we head on to the second, and it's Team Spirit taking on OG. Now, the big names are on OG, the big organization, everything looking for success, but I feel like this team are a little bit underwhelming. I definitely feel like Spirit are a team coming into this. I'm going to predict them to win. I feel like they've just been on really good form right now, and they've got so many individuals that are massively underrated. I feel like we're discovering these players.
That's the nice thing about Spirit is that they've got a full 5-man fragging roster. Chopper is their in-game leader. He's a good fragger as well. Magix has really come into his own on this team. I think to begin with, he was finding his form a bit. He's a very young player, very inexperienced, but he's really come into his own. He's really fit his role into this team. And we're ready to get underway into Dust 2, the map pick of Spirit to kick things off.
Dust 2, the classic CIS map. This is where our Russian team are going to be very comfortable indeed. But OG, I mean, this is a team full of skill, packed out on the board. Dust 2 is definitely a map that will be very fun and exciting to watch across the board here. Team Spirit has got themselves 4 sets of Kevlar, 1 smoke grenade in the hands of Chopper. Over for OG, it's everybody on Kevlar apart from LXCB with a double flash and a kit. And a little bit of a slower approach here from Team Spirit. They're just waiting for that aggression from OG, and it's just not going to happen. It's the 2-1-2 setup, 2 over towards the B-bomb site. Behind his balance, actually just peeking down in towards middle, and 2 off towards the long and top mid area. So very slow here from Team Spirit.
Taking their time at the start of this pistol round. I got to see a fair bit of Spirit recently at the We Play RMR event they played at, where they ended up losing in the final against Na'Vi. And for me, Balance was really impressive. I normally thought of him as quite a streaky AWPer, someone who's kind of up and down, but he was consistently doing a lot for his team. So if that can come through as the AWPer here on Dust 2, that could be a big positive for them. And right now, he's got the P250 in hand, looking for this long-range fight.
Well, Valde, close corner, looking for a little bit more as he peeks into the open. Alexi B and Valde taking 2 early kills. And outside his balance, Young and Mir seeing what they can do left. Into a 3 versus 5. It's all fallen apart for Team Spirit. They seem to have some sort of idea, but it never really played out. When they initially go for their attack in towards long, it's just the kills keep coming through from OG. And now it's Mir left alone. And there's nothing he can do apart from hit 3 headshots here in very quick succession. 14 seconds left on this clock. He cannot win in terms of planting the bomb, so it's all about elimination, and they're not giving him anything. OG fall away. They'll be winning this pistol round, and Mir just diving over the top, trying to die before the time hit. And that's exactly what will happen. He goes down to Valde, and OG will win the pistol round.
Solid start for Valde. I like that Alexi B's playing CT with those flashes as well. He can quickly rotate over to either site with those flashes to help out. You see that Valde gets that second kill in part because the flashbang was on point. Just a really good start for the Dane. We know that Valde's someone who's got star potential. He doesn't necessarily take fights all the time. He's more of a passive star, but he can definitely be someone who can take over games for this OG squad. And we're seeing him show up early, so that's a good sign for them. Spirit have gone for the full spy, though, into this second round. Again, the classic Deegs, as well as the Scout for Balance. You see this so often these days. This is basically the go-to in the second round. We'll see what Spirit can do with them, because Issa's playing up close here. Mir's got to be a little bit aware, a little bit careful, and Issa's able to strike and get away safely.
Well, Chopper is going to boost it up in towards short. Spam coming through the smoke, trying to connect onto Issa around the corner. And he's going through. Chopper is going to take a good bit of damage on board from that. OG playing this one well, not giving anything up. Very, very passive across the board. Not overextending, not giving any opportunity away to Team Spirit, because we know they have these individuals that can pop off with the Deagles. We know pretty much every good CIS team can do that. I think a lot of these European teams, they realize, I think a lot of the top teams actually realize that you have to respect these CIS teams. You never really know what they're going to be able to do.
30 seconds, and these smokes will be lined up to make sure they can go for this mid to B split. There's only 2 CTs on the B site right now.
Well, that's a big spray down from Mr. Somehow get a double headshot, melting them where they stand. He pulls out the USP, running out of ammo. Likes to be instead, moves forward. He wants a piece of the pie, and he will do a little bit of damage. Balance last alive now, 60 HP, diving into the open. Very slow approach from Team Spirit, and it results in a 5-man win from OG. They keep 5 players alive, not a single death in the previous. They've only lost 2 players so far.
Been a nice clean start to this one for OG. And we heard the desk talking about the fact that Mantu has had to come off of an injury recently. He had to take a lot of the player break off. Apparently, he was playing through the pain in their last tournament as well, but he should be good to go now. And there we go. Nade lands into mid. I will be interested to see what level we're going to see from Mantu individually, if he can still land the shots. And that is a very quick cleanup at mid, making it look easy against the low buy from Spirit.
It's something you don't often have to talk about in esports is physical injuries.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen a whole lot, but there has been obviously some famous cases in terms of Shock, sort of Meister, Guardian, Mantu now is having a couple of issues. So yeah, it's kind of something that you never really think about too much, and definitely plays a part in terms of fatigue. And we'll see if OG have their star opera on their team in full force. So far, pretty good start in terms of the damage they've been able to output here, OG. They've dropped Mir down to 16 HP at the start of this round, and it hasn't really been an answer back just yet. So OG sitting back. They do that initial damage. They poke out. They find the damage or a kill, as it has been in previous rounds, and they've been able to slow it right down.
Bit of nade damage onto Chopper as well. It's a similar setup from OG. They're going for this same setup where they have 2 on B, and then these 3 players focused more on the A site.
Cool.
And Mantu going forward doesn't land a shot. The Molotov won't keep them at bay. I think they can move past that, so Mantu still has to be careful. Smoke's coming into play. Still no angle for the AWP. He's unable to pull the trigger, so Spirit just brute force their way onto A for a free bomb plant.
Well, XTB, he's going to go for the jump shot here. I just bounce. Oh, the bomb plant goes down, but the kill still comes through. It's a 4 versus 4. A lot of damage being done here to Team Spirit. And now they move forward. Valde with the M4A4. He'll be looking for this kill as he moves back into the A bomb site. Chopper, his head peers over the top for a second. It's picked right off his shoulders, disconnected. And now more damage being done. Valde spraying away, but the kills, they're going back and forth now. 1 versus 1. Mantu versus Mir. And he's got across. He's got across safely to the site. Now he can just stick the defuse. It's got to be an instantaneous kill here. It has to be the jump shot. There's no other option for Mir, and it's not going to work. He's not going to get the frag. It's Mantu pulling it off into the 1 versus 1. And OG will find themselves a 4th round on the board.
Nice read from Mantu at the end there in the 1v1. Baits out the shot on the cross. He's able to realize he can get onto the site. He can probably just stick the defuse. He even comes away with a kill at the end there. Mantu's definitely been one of the feel-good stories of 2020 as well. It was a pretty big step up in terms of level of competition from alternate attacks up to OG that he has delivered. That's why he's been the best player on this team. MBK taken out over at B though. Chopper gets him straight through the smoke. That's exactly the start that Spirit needed in this round. They get themselves an early man advantage, and that might force some sort of response for OG because that B site is left somewhat weak. And you can already see Alexi B focused on mid, making sure he's somewhat close by.
Smoke goes into the door to allow safe passage to the Xbox. Gonna need a couple of players already up in towards the catwalk area. I just bounce looking down in towards middle for an aggressive player, but it isn't coming through. It's the default stance again from Team Spirit, using their utility, trying to effectively clear the angles away, hoping they can limit the positions of the CT side. It looks like they're shaping up for another catwalk execute with a prong in towards long. And that's Magic's. Now, if you watch him in towards their long position when they go out, they decide to go for an A hit straight up through long. Magic's is one of the most incredible players on this long area, so it's very fun to watch.
This is scary. If they run into this B stack, 3 CTs here. Those doors are open as well, remember, so those mid players can help out much more easily. And I don't know if there's going to be a smoke for that door either.
Oh, well, they're just going to go contact straight in towards the site, rushing on in. Is just going to find the first headshot, but Mir answers back. I just balanced. That's quick. And now Alexi B trying to patch the hole. It's not looking so good for OG. It was perfect. They had everything set up, but that nade, it's good. Gets rid of Chopper, but there's still enough time for the bomb plant. Mantu now the last remaining player until 1 versus 3, and he's on the opposite end of the map. It'll be very difficult for him to get back into this. It'll be very difficult indeed for him to even have a chance. So he's going to save the AWP into the next one. That's finally around on the board for Team Spirit. And it was actually, like you said, a real chance, a real dangerous opportunity because OG had the stack going on towards B. They had 3 players on that bomb site.
Yeah, some really good shots from Spirit there. They had to land to get themselves onto that site. This is what we were talking about, the skill that is on this team. We know that Mir can be very good as an aggressive rifler. I think Mir has a really good understanding with Chopper as well. Those two oftentimes work well together in those aggressive plays at the start of the round. And I think that's partly because Chopper is the in-game leader of the team, can take those aggressive fights. If Mir isn't willing to take them, he's happy to go in first. You see there, he gets that initial spray through. And then look who it is, Mir following up from his teammate to get towards the site. iDisbalance lands a shot from the back lines. I think he's a real big part in helping Mir be set up to be such a big star on this team. And Spirit get themselves their first round on the board. And now they're going for this A long play where OG has been forced back early.
Well, 3 players out in towards long for Team Spirit. If they decide to go this way, they certainly have a good chance at winning the fight zone towards this A site. Main issue is going to be Mantu, currently positioned towards Car with the AWP. But Team Spirit have decided they're going to go and play all across the map. You've got Mir already down in towards middle, close to the double doors. Alexi B just in behind it, shielded by the smoke. And now the push comes in from Team Spirit. Up towards Catwalk, they look to go again. Alexi B spots a couple of players crossing on by, and MBK's pushed through the B tunnel, so they have full information. There's going to be this Catwalk to A bomb site hit, and Alexi B through the bottom of the smoke spots a bit of Mir and shuts him down. And now MBK, this aggression is going to work out for him. iDisbalance going down, and Team Spirit, it really feels like they're in their own heads. They're taking this way too slow. They're thinking about it way too much. And they're giving so much map control over to OG. It's just not working out for them every single kill. OG knew everything that was about to happen. And they had so much time to position themselves ready to just shut down that Catwalk execute.
Yeah, Spirit just got suffocated there. It just felt like the room was slowly closing in on them. And they just get crushed at the end between those two forces. MBK had the backside covered off. As soon as you spot that man pushed into lower tunnels, you've got to be worried if you're on the Spirit side there. And, oh, Mantu taking the fight down mid against the scout of iDisbalance. He lands the first kill. Magic's looking to make up for it, but Alexi B's ready on the hold. Spirit down by 2 early, but at least Chopper fights back. Still a man disadvantage for Spirit, though. Not the start they were looking for. Chopper's got a molly here. Uh-oh.
Oof. Young catching out Mantu. That was a lot expended to get rid of him, but it's worth it. They get rid of him, and now they have themselves a 3 versus 3. Mantu going down is a big issue here for OG, but they still have the other AWP in the hands of Issa. He's currently positioned towards bottom middle, looking through the doors. Chopper up there. This could be good for Issa. He can catch him, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Catches out Chopper, and now aware of the possibility of other players being close by. You've got Mir now moving forward. He's going to be the front man through middle, and he really needs this kill. If he goes down, it's probably over. And there it is. Issa missing the close shot. That's difficult to land. Mir gets rid of him, and now MBK holding the B bomb site down. Young in the tunnels. Mir coming to join him. MBK, this is a bit of an off angle, one that's not expected, and he gets 1 and a second as well. That's brilliantly played from MBK. 6-1 for OG.
Good work for MBK. He had not really been required in the earlier portions of this game. He only had 1 kill prior to that double spray down. Seeing him be solid on the B site is going to be important for OG. As that anchor on B, you always want to have someone who's super reliable. I think MBK is someone who can definitely live up to that at times. I am a bit concerned about OG's long hold, though. They haven't been able to take control of it in these early rounds, but this time they fight hard. Alexi B gets that first man with the MP9, and the rest of Spirit are unlikely to be able to follow up, especially with that nade landing in the face of Magic. That's a second kill on the round for Alexi B, and OG are untouched in those opening long fights. They haven't taken a single point of damage.
Oh. Don't know how that didn't connect right through the legs, perhaps. Chopper. Alone outside of B. 2 players over here, and that's the easiest kill of MBK's career. That's simple. Nice kill from the back of the site. Chopper's head just popped off. Idis balance, and Sumda Young left it to a 2 versus 5. Under a minute in play, still plenty of time, but you can't really expect Team Spirit to even have a small chance of doing anything in this one. They're going to gather and short and hope to do as much damage as they possibly can. But it's not going to be enough. They're looking to the next round. They will have money available. A bomb plant would be the absolute goal here. You get so much money off the back of it, but Mantu waiting on by. He's going to miss the shot.
The fast flank gets the 1. He might be on for the ace here. Valde gets that last kill. Oh, MBK had that kill over at B previously, so not the ace, but still a nice 3k for Alexi B. His teammates help him out as well. And finally, Spirit decide it's time to take a pause. It's not been going well for them so far. A couple of their players have been quiet. Idis balance, only 2 kills. He's had the AWP a couple of times. He's not been able to have too much impact with it, though. And just in general, it feels like OG are the ones who are really getting a good grasp on the game right now, getting the map control that they want, being able to stack the right bomb sites. Even that one round that Spirit were able to get on towards B, they did run into that 3-man stack. So clearly that's something that is going to have to change for this Team Spirit side. Really good start for OG, though, showing up with their skill. I think the fact that Is is playing so well is a big benefit for them. When he has good games, he gives this team a great amount of firepower, and sometimes the consistency might not be there, but we know that Issa can be a very powerful player, and we're seeing that right here. Everyone's showing up for OG, a 7-1 lead for them, but let's see what Spirit do off the back of this timeout. Well, the answer is try and move through the flames, but Valda's ready for it.
Alexi B is going to get aggressive. He's flying down low, and now Mir moving forward. Valde takes his head right off. His magic side is balanced as Sumda Young. Left into a 3 versus 5. And the Molotov burning down in towards middle. Sumda Young walks forward. And again, it feels like Team Spirit are just in a position right now, Alex, where they're just not getting anything done. They come into it with an idea, but it seems so tentative. And every time they get into a position, OG already have the information, or they've done enough damage that Team Spirit can't effectively do what they want. So OG right now are just dominating Team Spirit with 0 chance. And the team we know, the Team Spirit we can always expect in terms of the individual showing up and having an exciting, explosive game of Counter-Strike, hasn't really been there. They've been very quiet. I really don't feel like anybody's got going just yet. Sumda will catch out as they're getting aggressive. And they have a 2-man advantage, so they have a couple of expendable players. There's information at least gathered for one of the players here for Team Spirit, but the rest positioned in towards A long. And Alexi B is doing a really good job at not giving anything up. Eventually, they're going to have to check for this, though, as Magix is getting closer to the A bomb site, just slowly shifting his way up here. Alexi B around the corner of the boxes. He has an opportunity to end this on his own. 13 seconds, not enough time, not enough margin for error, and 0 margin for error at this point. Idis Balance gets away. It's the round picked up for OG. And yet another round that just kind of goes out without much of a fight, really, from Team Spirit. It's kind of strange seeing them like this. There's no fire in them.
Yeah, another round that just fizzles out. And I think a big part of the problem is Mir and Chopper, as the 2 aggressive players on this team, are normally such a big part of how Spirit get into rounds to begin with, of how they start their rounds off. And those 2 have just been struggling in a lot of the opening fights so far. Mir is 1 for 4 in opening duels. Chopper's 1 for 2 in opening duels. Those 2 are normally the guys that open up the round for the team. And as soon as that's not the case, maybe they struggle. Maybe they don't have anything to fall back on. But this time, Mir has opened up the round, and MPK has to lock down this B site alone.
One for spray away. It's going to be Chopper with 1 kill. MBK going down. Idis Balance tries to hold the players crossing back over towards the B bomb site. We've got ourselves a man advantage in play for Team Spirit, but it's gone. Alexi B getting a double kill. The smoke going through the flash as well. If the B bomb site defense falls, Alexi B is always that extra player over here. And he always has a good read on how to play it. He's pulled it into a winnable position. The bomb planted, though. B retake still very difficult. Even with his door change, it's still very difficult to get back into the B site effectively. And Chopper gets aggressive. There it is, the double. Alongside Magix, finally Team Spirit. That's more of what we expect from them.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. Finally, Chopper and Mir win some of these early fights, and that's what gets them into the round. I think those two are so pivotal for getting Spirit into these rounds in the first place, and it happens for them. They win some of those early duels, they get themselves onto B, they get themselves the round win. So a second on the board for Team Spirit. We need to see more of the same, though, and once again, Mir and Chopper rushing up through mid. No time to waste.
Well, quickly. There we go. Valde, though, with a double down. It's going to be Mir and Chopper both falling to the grenade. And we talked about how Chopper need to be the most effective players in terms of opening up these rounds. They get one kill, but in one foul swoop, they're both gone from the round. So now it falls onto the remaining players. Magic's, iDisbalance, and Some Die Young to try and work this round in their favor. They're starting to walk forward. iDisbalance looking down in towards CT spawn. Good bit of utility being used up, but now they move forward. Team Spirit starting to put pressure up towards B. MBK flashes up. Had a few quiet performance in this B bomb site, but he's stepping up this time. Magic's going down. Iska backing him up, and there it is. Valde, the last kill. 9-2 on the board for OG. This is dominant. There's absolutely no chance for Team Spirit, unfortunately. They get the initial kill here, yeah, but look at this double nade kill coming through. That pretty much seals the deal. They're down too many players. The effective playmakers to open up the bomb sites for them are gone. And 9-2. Well, money's gone again for Spirit. They're back down to a little half bite. So it should be 10 rounds on the board for OG.
And we heard Mantu saying in the interview earlier that they were going to have to be ready for that CIS style of play, right? They were a bit worried maybe about the Russian teams and how they were going to deal with them. I think they've game planned this fantastically so far. The nades that OG have been using have been so effective at stopping the early aggression. I'm looking at the utility damage right now. Alexi B has 300. A couple of the other players have 150 each. They're doing a lot of damage with these early nades to deny the early plays from Spirit. And as soon as you do that, that takes a lot of Spirit's success away. So really nice game planning from OG. They look really prepared here on Dust 2. Finally, Spirit go for a slower round with the pistols, but let's see what they have in their back pocket for this round. Smoke going into CT. And Alexi B, who's been having a good game so far, will sit behind these smokes. Or maybe not.
Well, iDisbalance. He's waiting out the smoke. There's a player on the left side here, just in behind the doorway. A couple of players about to cross actually into his vision, but the flash is good. And now Chopper over the top. The drops for the Tech 9. Alexi B gets rid of him now, sprays away. That's a second kill. Probably could have got a little bit more there as well if he was slightly more lucky. 30 seconds though. Man advantage still in play for OG. Magic's trying to pick up this weapon. He's managed to pick it up. Now he's going to go up towards short with the rest of his team. Team Spirit need to just run this A-bomb start. They have no time to waste now. Mantu looking to hold on. The flash is good. It gets rid of him. It neutralizes his angle. But that Molotov, that might just seal the deal. That might just be the round done. Smoke's gone towards the site. But the time, they have to start planting right now. And there it is. The Molotov effectively getting rid of Magic. iDisbalance is there as well. And Mantu just really well played. He knows he gets neutralized by that flashbang. So instead of peeking again and potentially losing his life, he just throws the Molotov onto the site, knows the time's low. That's brilliant stuff. OG are making very little mistakes right now. It's a really good performance from everybody across the board, and they're making all the right moves.
Yeah, Valder and Alexi B both at 15 kills. I'm a happy man, Dinko, because I've got Alexi B in my fantasy team. I'm loving life right now. It's all going great.
Well, that is helpful.
It is.
I mean, it is a good pick for it. I didn't actually get around to doing that.
Cheap. Yeah, my team's doing pretty well, actually. I picked some big players and some heroic players, so obviously it's going pretty well. Yeah.
Well, Mantu is down and towards short. Scoped in. Chopra jumping up on top of the Xbox. Mantu might just pick him off and open up the round, but a little bit of pressure now. Valde, he's been good with the utility. Molotov stops Chopper from running after them. Follow-up smoke as well, just to buy more time. And this has been the biggest issue, I feel, for Team Spirit, is just the time. They've left themselves so little of it in all the rounds, and that leaves very limited space for mistakes. You can't be making any errors when you're going in at 20 seconds. You just have to have everything work out. You need to get those kills. You need to be completely rehearsed in terms of the execute you're going to pull off. And unfortunately for Team Spirit, they've taken too many casualties in a lot of the rounds, so they never really have that full execute. Unfortunate for them. And it's continuing this way. 30 seconds left, piece by piece falling apart, but finally, they're going to fight back. Young with a good kill.
And this is AWPing on this B site, so if he gets rushed down, even though the time is low, it's going to be hard for him to hold, but he's got the angle into the tunnels. The flashbang forces him away. It's a low on health here. Molotov comes in, and he is in trouble. Magix gets that entry, and without getting a single kill on B, I think OG will not be winning this one. Valda and Mantu stuck saving, and the money isn't perfect on the OG side of things. They do need to save these guns to make sure they get a buy into the next. Nice pace there from Spirit, though, moving back into the B site. They win some of those opening trades. Magix's patience over at long gets him that early kill onto Alexi B. Definitely put them off on the right foot early. And then Magix and SDY both following through onto the B site as well. So finally a third round for Spirit. It's been a slow start for them, though, and we've got to see, I think, a couple more rounds strung together here at the end of the half for them.
Yeah, Alexi B is the one player, obviously, with the limited cash. The rest of the team are obviously going to have a very solid buy. I think that's mainly because Alexi B in these last couple of rounds has been quite aggressive. He has hemorrhaged his life a few times, and well, it's definitely worked out for him. He's getting multi-kills from every time of it, so should be all good here for OG. And they've got another buy coming up. Absolutely no problems. They've also gone for a pause. Immediately after Team Spirit get an opportunity, OG calling for the tactical pause, wanting to make sure that they don't let Team Spirit get back into things. They want to close this half 12-3. And it's a real possibility, Alex. If they win this round, then that's when things are looking likely that it'll be a 12th round for OG.
Yeah, definitely looking pretty good for them so far. I think in general, the rounds that Spirit seem to have won have come towards that B side of the map, but oftentimes have been somewhat slower rounds. It depends. They have gone for some fast B plays as well that have worked for them.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a mix. But with only 3 rounds won, there's not a massive sample size of Spirit having success. Here's Mantu, though, blinded, but he's got the angle on point. He gets that opening kill. And Mir, oh, that spray was so risky. Valda just spams him back, even though he's blind through the smoke. He just spots those tracers, so he can spam on back, get another kill. It's another round where Spirit lose those early trades. Again, Chopper and Mir struggling early in these early fights, and the rest of Spirit in a really rough spot.
Yeah, this is the scary part for me, is this is the T side of Team Spirit on their map pick. This has not been good. This has been really rough for the Team Spirit side. What? That's an incredible shot from Midas Balance. Obviously not taking the frag, but good bit of damage being done on towards Mantu. Still a 2-man advantage though for OG, and Team Spirit, they have not been good at turning these rounds around. You know, if you lose those 2 early picks, it's mainly been OG closing them out, as it should be. So Team Spirit, very unlikely they will be walking away with a 4th round in here. So OG looking at 11. The money's okay for the majority of the players here for Team Spirit, so they will be able to get rifles into the next, obviously, but they'll lack the utility, possibly the AWP if they lose it here for Midas Balance. So that'll definitely be a big problem moving forward. So Team Spirit desperately look to try and turn this one around. They move forward in towards long. Good kill from Magix, but Valde has just been so good at holding this A-bomb site down, and another 2 kills going his way in the spray down. He's got 3 as well overall in the round, 11-3. Just a fantastic round from start to finish from OG. Good initial kill from Mantu, good fallback working with Valde, and the utility is just on point from him. He's had a really good game right now. I think he's on 17, or actually 18 kills, 18-5. Alexi B's 15-8 right now as well. Really good performance across the board from OG.
And Valda wants to do some more damage in this round, apparently. Getting aggressive, lineup almost there, but Mid ducks under the spray to win that fight. Oh, Mantu fast on the trigger onto the first man, and that smoke should allow him to get back to safety. It was the T-side smoke that was deployed just a little bit late, and look at Alexi B. He's got to be careful. He's got to react. Oh, he's not going to get it. SDY just about wins that fight. So it's into a 3v3 with Spirit working their way up through long.
Full of smoke. Down for the cross, and now they're going to move forward. It's utility coming up, flashbangs. They go through. The Molotov actually just burning away, stopping them from safe passage to the A-bomb site. Eventually, they'll start to walk forward. Utility coming in again, another Molotov. And OG just seem to have an unlimited supply of utility, it seems, and Team Spirit are getting very frustrated by this, I'm sure. They finally get onto the site. But now they're peering over the top. Mansu getting boosted over by his teammate. Idis Balance not peering his head over the top. He needs to be aware of this, and he is completely aware. Shuts down Mansu, his head torn off his shoulders. And now the retake attempt is looking rough for OG. They've got a man deficit, but they've got the kill back. They've got the health advantage now into this 2 versus 2. And Team Spirit, they've got to hold on. They desperately need a 4th round at the half. It's far superior to that of 3. And now he's going to hold on. A good headshot from Issa, and MBK cleans it up at long range as well. It's going to be a 12th round for OG. A very, very convincing and solid round coming through that to close out the half. And what was pretty much a flawless half from OG, minus a couple of mistakes. It is time for a short break, though. We'll be right back after this to see if Team Spirit can bounce back, or will OG take their map pick.
My crew, yeah, we're lawless. Got the man, them thinking that we're flawless. Yeah, mama told you that I'm gorgeous. Got a million tricks, can't deport us. I'm a flame in the star, call me gassed. Back foot slide, I'm slick to the mass. Calling to the tribe, it's a revolution past. Present in time, no, we can't be masked. So you better rise up, collapse, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up, so we better rise up, collapse, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up. If we break bread, then I'm coming like a eeler. If you want beef, then I tom beater. If you want beef, then I tom. 789, that's procedure. If we break bread, then I'm coming like a eeler. If you want beef, then I tom beater. If you want beef, then I tom. My crew, yeah, we're lawless. Got the man, them thinking that we're flawless. Yeah, mama told you that I'm gorgeous. Got a million tricks, can't deport us. I'm a flame in the star, call me gassed. Back foot slide, I'm slick to the...
Welcome back to DreamHack Open Summer. It's the European division here, and we've got ourselves OG taking on Team Spirit. Very one-sided affair, not exactly what we're used to here today, but nonetheless, OG have come in prepared. They had a protocol for pretty much every scenario on that CT side. And just to let you know, again, this is the map pick of Team Spirit. We head into the second round pistol. It's the double flash for Chopper and this kit with the Redstone Kevlar and a call for play from Idis Balance, just cutting through them, tearing their heads right off, and he's looking for more. Man through around the corner, damage being done, but it's the headshot finally ending Idis Balance.
Oh, Alexi B's got this flank as well. It's turned around. OG into a 2v2. Kills coming in all over the place, but the bomb's been lost by OG. It's dropped at top mid, and their players have to come back into this. MBK trying to get this flank going, but Mir's ready for it. Good reaction shot, and now Alexi B, who's been having a good game so far, is in a 1v2. He doesn't seem fully aware where that second man is, though. He's turning round. He's worried about the flank, and that could be very awkward for him here. Flash goes over the top. Alexi B unable to get it going. Nice shots from Mir. Spirit pick up the pistol round, and that's exactly what they needed to keep themselves in this one.
That was solid stuff from iDisbalance to start off the round. It pretty much gives the chance on over to win the rounds, and Mir finding himself in this position really upsets the OG camp. They were so close to pulling it off as well. I thought OG had done them, pulling that right back into the winnable scenario. The near kill coming in from MBK. But a much needed pistol round win from Team Spirit, and it's not even going to be the force buy from OG. They didn't get the bomb plant, so they're just going to be running up in towards the A site with nothing and hoping that they can find something. And, well, kill coming in from Chopper should be easy pickings for the rest of the squad here as well. But a bomb plant, that's unbelievable. They have done nothing but just run at the site, and it's worked out. They've got a couple of kills, and now they have a chance to pick up a gun. This is unbelievable. This even got into this scenario. How has this happened? OG will be very happy with the outcome of this round. They get 3 kills and a bomb plant.
Big damage. That's the upside of these low buys on Dust 2. I think that's why some teams do take a pretty hard eco, because you can sometimes just run up short and get a bomb plant and get some damage. And OG do that really successfully there. And now that puts them in such a good spot where they're going to get the full buy. They're going to get the AWP out for MBK. I assume he'll drop that over to a teammate, or maybe he'll stick with it for an early pick. Yeah, MBK's got the best long spawn, so it looks like he wants to see if he can get that early kill, taking the AWP out of the hands of Mantu. And the early long battle's about to come through. MBK not getting the chance to pull the trigger, though. The flashbang forced the CT away, so no opening pick for the AWP just yet. There is also an AWP on the CT side, but iDisbalance has had to go glass cannon with that one, holding him from short. Looks like we won't get too much early action here in our first gun round.
Just a slow approach coming in from OG, waiting for Team Spirit to show something. But a very passive setup coming in from Team Spirit. They've got those 3 players back over towards A, hanging around the middle of long. Now Lexi B going on through the flashbang, clearing the corner, realizes no one's close by in middle. Got that bit of control to work with. Now they turn their attentions back towards Catwalk. This is the default stance. Once they complete this, the default is done. And it's not just Balance that gets 1 kill. It's Alexi B who is the victim. Man advantage picked up for Team Spirit.
Missed molly by OG as well. That molly, I think, was meant to land on iDisbalance's position, but it blew up in the air, didn't force him off the angle, and he's able to get a kill because of it. It's back to the B play, though, and that nade, it does damage, but Mir has to be careful. He gets his gun out, trying to see if he can lock this down. A second kill is found, but OG should be able to get towards this B site now. Chopper unable to stop the cross, so bomb will be planted. Smoke goes down for the doors, and Valder and Mantu will try and play this post plant.
And the time ticking. Still the advantage in play for OG. Team Spirit really just holding on right now, running that time down. I think they probably realized at this point, either we just go for it or we save, and now they're just going to run on in. Interesting decision. No kits available. This is just suicide at this point. And while Mantu's got another kill, he'll run back away, and the job is done. It's a round 1 for OG, and so much damage being done as well. Team Spirit walk away with only the AWP, and just about doing that as well. Sumda Young staying alive on 1 health point. It's 13-5. We are 3 away from Dust 2 going in favor of OG.
Nice reposition from Mir to begin with. I think he did enough on the B side hold to give his team a chance, but Valder getting that 1 kill, and just the time that Spirit took to get back into the bomb site was a bit too much for them. At least that AWP gets saved. It gives them something else to work with, but Mantu almost lands that shot towards mid. Ready for the boost that was coming into play, but doesn't connect. Magic's playing up close towards the B site, just in case there was a rush coming in. But OG are pretty happy to play it slow. I think something that OG were very good at on their CT side was holding onto that short control, which is normally very difficult to do. And you saw in that previous round, OG tried to take that short position away from Spirit. They're actually going for this B play again, though, and Mir dishing out some damage right from the get-go.
The spray away from Magix is good. The good double kill. MBK they're both going down, but look at this. Alexi B has got himself into an unbelievable position. Riles away with the Mac 10. He'll walk away very happy. And Some Da Young, though, that's a big kill. That's the bomb dropped in the open, and Alexi B looks to peek out towards window and just loses his life. And what was looking so good for OG just falls apart within seconds. Team Spirit is 6th round, and they'll be very happy about that.
Magix's position here coming up big with those first 2 kills. SDY spray through those switch round doors, really helping him deny them from getting onto the bomb site quite so easily. And OG's money is not looking good any longer. Mantu gets 1 AK. The rest of the team buying whatever the hell they can. MBK are running up through mid to begin with. Ooh, okay, I disbalance. Careful now. Players are running up short already. He doesn't want to give away that AWP, but the flash is good. MBK unable to convert, but Issa certainly is. Headshot landed. Alexi B gets another one into a 3v3. Spirit getting some kills on the site hold, but they're going to have to concede this bomb plant.
Bomb has been planted. When the bomb planted, and Team Spirit having to pull off a retake. They haven't been too successful in actually retaking the bomb sites. They've been pretty good in the previous at actually stopping the ball and going down. We'll see if they can make this work. Valde positioning himself in the corner. Now this isn't low. Yeah, this is another scenario where Team Spirit, they did this in the previous. They just leave themselves too little time. I mean, you don't have this much time to pull off a retake. It just doesn't work like this. It's not working, but a no-scope, jumping no-scope, it works perfectly. And they're going to try and flee the scene, but all it does is just end up costing them weapons and money. And yeah, that really is a huge question mark as to how have Team Spirit forgot how the time works in Counter-Strike during the player break. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, they just sat around for so long there, seemingly hoping that they were going to get given some fights. Didn't really happen for them, and well, sure, that shot's ridiculous, but the round was already over at that point. Alexi B gets 1 kill at the end. 14-6 for OG. This game is getting out of hand for Team Spirit. Early long flashes coming through, and the CTs are seeing if they can stick around here. These smokes are down. They're going to flash themselves back through, and Chopper looks for this early fight, but he's not going to get the kill. Damage done to 2 players. The Chopper goes down, and SDY has to back away.
OG will be very happy on the start that they do have now. Mir seems like he wants to go through the door. He was shipping up for it, but here we go. It's waiting for his teammate. They're both going through now. Valde, he might just find 2 players here, but the awkward positioning. Oh no, the angle just wasn't there for him, and he's going to go down. I just balanced getting a kill as well, and OG, it's crumbling right in front of their eyes. Now I just balanced, he's going to miss his shot. That's a kill from Ista. Nice kill through the smoke from Mir, though, on the MP9. Luckily, OG get 1 player onto the bomb site itself, and it's Mantu with the bomb, and instead of going and planted, he's going to take the fight. He nearly sprays away all 3. But the bomb will get planted. He's got 1 player in the corner to help him out. That is still playing from Goose. And now the players in Team Spirit can sit back. They can get ready to come back into the site. But these retakes, they haven't been good. And now they've got 16 and 9 HP between 2 players. This is not looking good. Flash up into the air. It looks like OG will be looking at a 15th map point on Team Spirit's map pick. This is impossible to win. The crossfire is so solid. The time taking again. The health is so low. And the kills finally starting to come in. But it's too little too late, perhaps. Mantu can just jump shot. They're that low. But the defuse, okay, he's not aware. You need to get up. You need to jump for this kill. And it's around the corner. Team Spirit somehow pull it off, Alex.
I don't know how they get away with that. I don't know how they're alive for so long. So many missed shots.
Yeah, Ista should have got at least 1 kill there. That should have been the shutdown. Mantu's under pressure, yeah, but the bomb, it was ticking away. The time was so low. The health was so low. That should have just been a standard crossfire held from OG. That shouldn't have been around. They lose. But Team Spirit, well, in the most unlikely of circumstances, they make the retake happen.
Yeah, and even that round came down to the wire. I guess Spirit kind of learning from their previous mistakes with those slow retakes, at least just about getting onto the bomb in time. But yeah, they forced OG back down to pistols. They're still in this game, just about. 14-7 down. It's still very much a long shot, but resetting OG's economy is certainly a good way to start. And Magic's taking up this same position as previously, getting some good success early. Oh, Magic mows them down through the smoke. The pistols all being dealt with, not the ace, the 4K. Chopper steals away the last one, but again, not a single point of damage taken. Spirit won't be too fussed about that. Yeah, good job, good hold. Magic's really loving this position.
Yeah, Team Spirit finding a few more rounds.
Oh, another half-buy from OG as well.
I mean, they have so many rounds to play with that I'm kind of a fan. I need to get as much money as possible picked up. Oh, I just bounced on the short stairs. Chopper. Maybe they're getting the boost up and I just bounce. He's set up for success. He gets that opening kill and he falls away with his life. Alexi trying to follow up in the position. He's got to get out of there. In this round, we shouldn't really expect too much from OG. The flash is good out towards long, but they don't really capitalize on it. They swing after it. And that's going to allow Young vision. He's going to get a double kill from it. And he's got such a good position now as well. He should not really have too many problems. Another kill picked up for Young. And now it's just Alexi B. A 1 versus 5 with his Eagle. And Mayo gets rid of him. 9 rounds on the board for Team Spirit.
Yeah, not a bad idea from OG there. You could see that flash from Alexi B was effective. It was really nice to follow that through and then to see that it did blind the CT, but not blinded for long enough for OG to get into a good position. Here is that buy, though. Mantu going straight for the AWP. The rest of the squad picking up the AKs over on the OG side of things. And okay, that's not the start to the gun round you want to see. Valda getting shot right in the bum. It's okay, though. It's not done as much damage as it could have.
Well, that's good. That's the most perfect nade you could have thrown. It's going to drop down to 51 HP. Brilliant stuff. Behind his balance. Getting out of dodge. That Molotov really putting pressure on him. The smoke goes up. The flash is coming through as well. I'm just going to flee the scene. They're going to get out of there if possible. This is a really important round for OG. And they've used up pretty much all of their utility. And what map control do they have? None. They just they've got the tunnels and they've got a little bit of short, but it's cost a lot to not get a whole lot in return. They're going to be setting up with the 2 players towards Catwalk, a third joining them from the lower tunnel as Mantu and Valde relocate towards T-spawn.
I think this is especially rough on Dust too, where you think of most of the plays you want to make, you kind of need 2 smokes. Like if you want to go mid to B, you need those 2 smokes for CT. If you want to go up through long, you kind of need 2 smokes for the cross. Over at the A site, you like to have those 2 smokes to deploy to run up through short as well. And the main downside is with no flashbangs, even a contact play is going to be difficult here. So it's really down to the aim of OG to get them into this round. And they've not got much time to work with here.
Oh, Chopper, that's perfect.
That's why you need
That's a disgusting boost, yeah. And while Alexi B is going to go down, he's there and he'll fall away. MBK doing his best, but it's not going to be enough. He's got a second. It has to be the ace clutch for MBK. He sprints for the bomb plant. Team Spirit, they've got Chopper out his balance and Young still alive. As MBK crosses the back of the bomb site. He needs to get this quick kill. The flash is so good. Nice retake from Team Spirit. Good clutch. And that is going to be a 10th round for the Russian side. 14-10. Slowly but surely climbing back into things. And with that bomb plant, it still doesn't really give them enough for a solid buy across the board. They could definitely buy the AK-47s, but they're going to be lacking utility.
Work from Chopper with the FAMAS to get those first 2. Flash comes in to allow him to close it out as well. We are starting to see those individuals we were talking about on the Spirit side of things. Mir up there at the top. Not positive in terms of kills and deaths, but starting to have a lot more impact. Chopper as well coming into play. iDisbalance still a little bit quiet, and I think this comes back to something I was saying previously, is that from what I've seen, iDisbalance is a fairly streaky AWPer. He can be very hot at times, and he's absolutely won Spirit maps and rounds where I've been impressed, and I've been thinking he shouldn't have a chance to do anything, but sometimes he can be a bit quieter on the AWP, and on Dust 2, that's always going to be a bit of an issue for you. 14-10 lead for OG, and Spirit, they are starting to bounce back into this one. And it has to be another half buy for the OG side of things. So as this goes on and on, OG are going to start to sweat here. This is getting a little close for comfort now.
Well, Magic's. Oh no, Alexi B just swings on by the MAC-10, cutting through. Magic's gone, and now the hold is going to be huge from Mir. He's going to find one kill, but Alexi B, he trades out his weapon. He finds an M4, and he continues to dish out the damage to the Team Spirit defense. They've got to get this bomb planted. Alexi B is going to do that as well. Insta crosses into the site. He gets the M4. Alexi B is asking for the deagle. There we go. Eventually gets it. But look at the damage done onto Alexi B. He's on 12 HP. Mansu on 44. Is this the only player with the full head armor, 100 HP, and an M4? So he's got to get it done. He's the player you look at here to step up for OG to hold off this retake attempt. It's going to be Sumda with a first, and Isla gets one. He goes back to the tunnels, but he's only got one kill, and it's Chopper with the double. Team Spirit pull off the B-bomb, start retake, and the 11th round added to the tally.
Yeah, this time good patience from Spirit, but not taking too long on the retake. Finally get it going. Here at the start, Alexi B's like a salmon, just jumping through the air to get that first kill, diving out through the tunnel smoke, and then Idis Balance, that shot he lands through the smoke helps so much. It leaves them in a 3v3 retake, which is so much easier for them. They get it done, they keep themselves going, but here comes another gun round for OG and some early long control being fought for.
Oh my, that is quick from Ista. Have we just seen two back-to-back rounds where we've just seen ridiculous opening kills coming from OG? Another out in towards A long. Chopper holding down in the pit. He's spraying away, but the kills just keep coming in for OG. All across the map. MBK shuts down Mir, and now it's only Magic alone in the world. And he joins his comrades very quickly. 15-11. It's OG, one away from victory on Team Spirit's map pick. The second half has certainly been a much closer affair, but Team Spirit, they just didn't do enough on the T side. They didn't get enough done on their T side at all to feel confident going into the second half.
There are going to be some people at home that went to get a drink of water or something, and they come back and they're like, wait, 15-11? What happened? OG just landing every headshot about 10 seconds into the round, and they're going for it again. This time, Idis Balance denies them, though. Good shot with the AWP. He's able to just fall back off that angle. He gives his team the man advantage. He takes the sting out of the attack of OG as well. So the fast plays will not be allowed this round, although Mantu's about to flash them out for some long control.
MBK putting pressure onto the pit player. It's Sumda Young that. He goes down. A good kill from MBK as well. Good double as Idis Balance able to find success. And a man advantage though for OG. They're looking to try and close it here. Molotov down, flash and smokes. OG clearing through as Chopper dives through the Hail Mary play. Everybody's blinded. No one knows what's going on. And Chopper eventually goes down. Issa as well with the kill. It's just Mir left alone until 1 versus 4. And this just is not happening. It's going to be OG picking up Dust 2. And while most people on the broadcast predicted Team Spirit to be walking away with this series, their map pick not going their way. And to be honest, Team Spirit looking a little flat out of the player brick. We'll see how they perform going into the second map. But right now, this is not the Team Spirit we've seen for the player break or have come to get used to. OG, this is impressive. Very limited mistakes coming in with that in that first half. The second was a little more shaky, but in the end, they pick it up, they close it up, and we're heading to map number 2. It's going to be Mirage, Alex.
Yeah, it almost felt like OG, after they were struggling at the end there, they just decided to adopt the CIS style themselves. Apparently, that's the one way to beat CIS teams. Just go for crazy aggression, play their own style against them, and it works out. They close it out with some great shots. Great work from OG at the end there, just to make sure they close it out. They don't let it get too close. They get the win.
Yeah, disappointing result for Team Spirit, but very impressive from OG. We'll see if they can keep it up going into map number 2. It's going to be their map pick. It's Mirage coming up after the break.
Welcome back, everyone, to, well, what has been an exciting series so far. It was OG looking like they were running away with things. 12-3 scoreline in the first half. And then, of course, it was I Just Balance and his merry men, the Russians, and the one lone Ukrainian kind of grinding back into the matchup. Pretty close series, and, well, I don't know about you, Potter, but I am heading into map number 2, map number 3. It's going to be, I still feel, a very tight affair. Welcome back, everyone, to DreamHack Open Summer 2020. My name is Blair, and very soon she'll be joined by a Potter on my left. How are you doing, Potter?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Blair, I have to ask, why did you predict Spirit to win?
So there was this lady, my co-analyst called Christine Potter, and she was like, you know what, then I feel like Spirit's going to win the series. They look really good. And I'm like, you know what? I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, which is why I went with Spirit. I'm still going to say Spirit stand a chance. They look pretty solid in the comeback, a very scrappy affair. What I enjoyed was how OG on that first half, everyone was just popping off, at least individually speaking, right?
Yeah, Sudan, I think you mentioned that OG were hitting some banger shots, and that's absolutely right. I do feel for Spirit just a little bit, though. I think that they got themselves into the match way too late. A 12-3 deficit in the first half is just asking a little bit too much for these guys to make a comeback in. They certainly postured for it. They were making the right moves, but I gotta say, those retake attempts and even a couple of those post-plant scenarios for Spirit were so wonky. You can see that this player break really made things just kind of out of whack for these guys because the timing, the patience, it wasn't there.
Do you think it was probably the map? I mean, Dust 2 is a map where players are probably trying to kind of flex a little bit. OG with doing that. And like you mentioned, I think it was a round in which the bomb gets planted for A and Mir is all the way in CD spawn as a T. He had to go for the jumping no-scope, which didn't land, unfortunately, for him. Do you feel like maybe it's just the map or maybe Spirit were trying to fight fire with fire, looking at the way OG were playing the first half?
I think so, but at the same time, Spirit were also being timid. You know, like I said, the timing seemed really weird because there are times where I thought that Mir and Choppa were going to be aggressive, but they chose to stay back. Then there are times where I thought they gotta go, and they just sat and waited. So it was really all out of sorts for me as a viewer watching. But then eventually that sort of patience, that sort of timidness kind of started paying off for Spirit because they started actually posturing for that comeback. The biggest question is, was that OG kind of just relaxing a little bit too much because that scoreline was so one-sided, or was that Spirit actually making a stand? Because going into the second map, if Spirit let the beginning of the first half get way out of hand like they did on this Dust 2, man, it's going to be so hard.
Speaking of second map, it is going to be in Mirage, which is the pick coming in from OG. And if you look at the 3 maps we're going to be seeing here today, we saw Dust 2 being played out. We have Mirage being played now coming up next. And of course, the decider map, if it does go to it, is going to be a nuke. Looking at the win rate of both these two teams, in the past 3 months, OG had 57% on Dust 2, Spirit had 50%, very close. 45% for OG and Mirage, 44% for Spirit on Mirage, and Nuke is going to be 70% and 60% respectively for OG and Spirit. So it's still very even Stevens, but heading into Mirage, what do you think Spirit have to switch up? Like, what are the obvious things which kind of stood out for you on that Dust 2 map?
Maybe even thinking back on how Spirit approached Mirage, it's very, very similar to how they approached this Dust 2. So I think if they're going to stick to the same game plan that they had on Dust 2, then I think they're going to have to speed things up just a little bit, especially in the beginning of these rounds, because obviously that sort of patience that they actually had pre-player break, where they had the timings down to a T, it's not working out for them as consistently as I think they're expecting it to. So maybe just take on the duels, because some of these players, they were hitting some good shots.
Oh, they were. And also speaking of hitting the shots, it looked like Spirit actually had the better opening duels initially, at least. I think they had like 13 or 14 opening kills, but just not able to kind of convert that. Do you think OG were being very, very proactive on the CD side, where they were like, you know, just kind of not really allowing Spirit to try and take advantage of getting that opening pick? They were being hyper aggressive, especially, you know, Issa, Valde, Alexi B, Mantu is over the AWP, everyone chiming in, everyone making life pretty uncomfortable, kind of claustrophobic, so to speak, for the Russian side.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. And OG, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that fire with fire earlier, because that's kind of what OG did. And I think they prepared really well for this match coming in. But I do have to say, in the beginning, in that first half, when it was a 12-3 deficit, still, the OG guys, the money, it was tight. So that just goes to show that moving into that second half, it was a lot closer than I think that scoreline kind of illustrated, right? And even if you take a look at the trade games, the opening entry kills, the economy, all of it was pretty neck and neck. It was just that score line that was so lopsided. So once again, going into this Mirage, it should be a lot closer. It shouldn't be a 12-3 first half.
It shouldn't be. And the one thing which I like to see, which I enjoyed watching from Spirit, was the second half, where they just kind of brought it back. It was scrappy rounds. It was very, very scrappy rounds. They lost the B side to almost just pistols multiple times. There was a round where I think OG had 2 pistols. They still got the bomb down towards the A bomb side, but they were able to still grind it back, right? They were still showing a lot of fight. Anything which stood out for you in particular in the second half for the side of Spirit?
I just keep thinking about Alexi B jumping MAC-10, entering into that B bomb site. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Magic needs to step up, and iDisbalance needs to step up going into the second map.
Well, you know what, Christine, I have a little voice in my ear telling me, I think it's Twitch chat personified, analyst, stop talk. We're going to be heading in straight into the game. But before that, we have a quick break. And after that, we have, of course, Alex and Dinko to kind of take you guys through the action.